hello there. Welcome to my channel. This week, I did the seasonal swap in my wardrobe, moving cold weather clothes to the front of the closet and putting the warm weather clothes at the back of the closet. At the same time, I culled a lot of stuff. Clothes, shoes, and bags. Things that I'm just not going to want to wear next spring. I find that these seasonal wardrobe shifts are a great opportunity to look at what worked and what didn't and try to learn a few lessons and create some memories of what I was happy with and what I wasn't from this past season. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm Janine, and this is Janine Sews. If you haven't watched my channel before, I talk about sewing a wardrobe for a woman over 50. And we are going to be talking about things that I've sewn today, not ready-to-wear things that I got rid of or that I loved or I didn't love. We're going to be talking about the things that I sewed. In 2015, I read The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. If you've watched my channel before, I've mentioned that many times because it did change my life. And since then, I've tried to have a much smaller wardrobe. It's not a tiny wardrobe. I'm a little bit of a clothes horse, but I certainly like to keep less stuff around, and I don't like to have clothes around that I'm not in love with. So I go through these wardrobe shifts, usually twice a year. Sometimes I do a better job of it than others. This year, I pulled everything out of my closet yesterday, and I got rid of 3 bags of kitchen-size trash bags filled with clothes, shoes, and handbags. Now, when I did this last year at this time, I had just quit work, and I wasn't sure if I was going to wind up working in an office again, so I didn't really do a brutal job. I kept a lot of things that I thought would be suitable for working in an office. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be going back to working in an office again. So this year I got rid of all those nice work trousers, the ones that were nice for the office but not nice for going out or for wearing in a more casual life. Got rid of a lot of that stuff. So that was 3 bags. But I also have 1 bag of me-made items. And I'm not donating that, but I have set it aside because someone in our meetup group thinks that she may have found a charity that accepts handmade clothing and they actually give it to their the community that they serve instead of it just being sent off possibly to a rag bin somewhere far away. So I've just set all of the me-mades aside, and I'm hoping that they're going to be given to someone who will use them. Now, I'm not going to talk about what I've got rid of today, but what I am going to talk about is what I noticed that I wore over and over again this past spring and summer, because there are lessons to be learned from that, and I want to kind of make a few memories so I don't make some sewing mistakes next spring and summer. So that's what I'm really going to be talking about now. Those things that were worn on repeat. There were 9 garments that I wore all the time, like constantly this past summer. And 5 of them were things that I sewed this year. And those 5 garments were 2 versions of the Cashmerette Concord T-shirt. Now, these were made after I went to a Ron Collins class and he helped me improve the fit. So I was very happy with the fit, which had a lot to do with why I wore them all the time. Now, the first one was a cotton jersey. It's white and it has what looks like little paint strokes on it, or paint flecks. So it looks mostly white. It's not a wild color or anything. It's a very basic t-shirt. And that thing I probably wore 3 times a week for 3 months. The second version of the Concord T-shirt is one that was also made with a cotton jersey, a little bit lighter weight, And it also had a little more color, really a pretty blue floral. And that one got a lot of wear because I like it and it fits, but also because the colors worked well with some of the toppers that I might wear with it. And also it looked great with the denim ready-to-wear capri pants that I bought this summer. The third top that was worn way more than I expected it to be, and I want to wear it again in the future, is the viscose peplum top that I made in the spring. And this one, I recorded a video about it, and I wasn't really happy with the fit. I messed around with the pattern when I was making it, and I think I made it too big. I never got around to adjusting the fit, but I still wore that top many times. The fabric is a viscose twill, and the pattern was New Look 6673. I made another t-shirt dress using Simplicity 8595 in the spring, and I used a really beefy cotton jersey that is aqua colored and had hummingbirds and cats on it. I bought the fabric for the cats, quite frankly, but it made a really fun dress. I changed the neckline so it had a ruched neckline, and that dress went all over the place with me. Every time we went away this summer, I took that dress with me. That t-shirt pattern is wonderful. It's a nice shape. It sews up in 2 hours. And the fifth item that I made this year that was worn on repeat was kind of a surprise. The Itch to Stitch Solar Top. Now when it's hot, it's nice to wear a tank top. And the solar top is a sleeveless top, but it has a little bit of interest with the elastic that provides some gathering on the shoulders. Otherwise, it's just a really basic sleeveless top. But I was super happy with it. I liked the fabric, and I liked how it fit, and it felt very comfortable. Not too bare like a tank top can be sometimes. There were 4 makes that got worn a lot that were older. One was the Cashmerette Cedar Dolman that I made in 2023. Just a great combination of pattern and fabric because it has the tie on the front. It's a little bit more interesting than your average t-shirt. The Love Notions Rhapsody. I've made that, I think 4 or 5 times now. But the one that gets worn most often is the first one that I made, which was in a very pretty floral challis. The fabric is nice for warmer weather. It's a little bit dressier. It's just a wonderful pattern. And that one in particular, those colors, the design of the fabric, I especially like. And then finally, there are 2 versions of the Doe Plantain T-shirt that have been worn a gajillion times. Doe Plantain is a free t-shirt pattern. It's very good. And that's the first t-shirt pattern that I ever used. One version that I made in 2021 was made from some, I don't know, inexpensive clearance red and white striped fabric that I got. Maybe Joann's, I'm not sure. And I made it up for Canada Day that year, and it's been worn so many times. The fabric's really nice, even though it's very lightweight. But the winner, the one that has been worn the most and absolutely stayed in my wardrobe, is another Doe Plantain. And that one was made from striped cotton interlock that I got at an estate sale. The sleeves were made from an old t-shirt that was stained and it couldn't be worn anymore. And I made that the weekend before or the first weekend of lockdown in 2020. And I have worn that t-shirt hundreds of times. I think I like it because it reminds me a little bit of the t-shirts that I used to wear when I was a kid. But also, the fabric goes with everything. The stripes just match absolutely everything. It works all the time. Sadly, there's a little pull in the front of it now. The fabric's probably 45 years old. It wasn't in my stash for that many years, but it's probably from the 80s, and it's been washed and worn dozens of times. Still a favorite. Before I packed that all away, I took a quick look and I thought about what are the similarities for all these things. Well, first of all, they're knits. I do love wearing a nice knit. But they're all also simple to wear and simple to take care of. Now, something I'll be thinking of over the winter is how I can find some patterns that work with knits and that will give me a little bit of the shape that I'm trying to create with my clothes. Of the things that I wore all the time, only one gave me the shape that I want, and that's the peplum top. So it's just going to be in the back of my mind when I start looking at spring and summer patterns. Oh, I don't know, February or March of next year. So I put all those clothes away and I pulled out my cold weather clothes. I have two small baskets of cold weather clothes. And I can tell you that I am already bored with everything there. There is not much there that excites me. I mostly have me-made sweaters, long sleeve t-shirts. The only thing I was happy to see is this particular top that I'm wearing. And I made this in 2020, 4 years ago. The fabric was a mystery knit from Fabric Mart, and the pattern that I used is the Audrey by Sew Over It. And I pulled this out yesterday because this is kind of my Halloween top. And I realized this is about the only top that I like that I have for cold weather. So I'm going to have to be doing some thinking about what I'm going to make that will bring some joy and some happiness and some excitement into my cold weather wardrobe. Moving in that direction, I did buy some fabric last week. I went to L'Oiseau here in Calgary and I bought 4 pieces of knit fabric. And for 2 of them, I'm looking for pattern ideas. Now, these are going to be cold weather clothes, but you'll notice they have very spring/summery colors in them because I'm trying to stick to colors that work best with my coloring and not just default to navy and dark gray. I want some color in my wardrobe this winter. The first piece of fabric is, what do they call it here? This is a quilted sweatshirt fabric. It's 80% cotton, 20% poly. It's 220 grams per square meter. I would like to make kind of a sweatshirt out of this. I want something that's open neck, but I don't want to put in a zipper. And I only have 2 meters. So suggestions for that would be appreciated. The second piece of fabric that I bought is one that coordinates with this. It's just one of the basic jerseys that they sell at L'Oiseau. There was only 1 meter of it left, so I am going to make a solar top with this. I know it's sleeveless, but I thought that the solar top would be nice underneath whatever sweatshirt I make for days when I want just a little bit of extra warmth, not too much warmth. And if I go somewhere warm in the winter, I can wear it then. Third piece of fabric is the same basic jersey in ballet pink. I've got a lot of blue in my wardrobe and I am a sucker for pink, so I thought I would try making a pretty pink long-sleeved t-shirt with this. I will likely use the Cashmerette Concord pattern. Just going to be a plain t-shirt. And the fourth piece of fabric is another one that I'm kind of looking for pattern ideas. And this is a stripy French terry. The color works with everything else that I bought that day. I just really liked the print. I thought the colors were bright and pretty. I think it's probably supposed to be a child's print, but I didn't think it looked particularly juvenile. But I'm looking for pattern ideas for this one too. And again, I only have 2 meters of it. I wanted to make the Love Notions Whistler, but I need, a little more fabric. And I don't think this is quite the right one for that. So pattern ideas, please, for the quilted sweatshirt fabric. And again, I don't want a traditional sweatshirt. I want something that's just kind of cozy and I can pull on easily. And for the stripy fabric, I have been doing just a little tiny bit of sewing. The first thing I've been working on quite a bit is the twill for my tunic that I'm making, that I'm going to have finished by the middle of this month. And in my last video where I talked about it, I mentioned that I was going to make a croquis. And a couple people asked me about the croquis. And a croquis is like you've got your body that's a paper doll, and you make paper doll clothes and put them on the body to see what you think. So I made a croquis. I have a Cashmerette program called My Body Model, and I use that to create my croquis, and then I just put my plans for the tunic on top of it. Now, if you're interested in the idea of the My Body Model, just hang on to that thought till the end of November, okay? But here is what I came up with. So I drew my tunic, and I kind of sketched in what my fabric looks like. I did not do a very good job of the fabric, but this is what I have wound up with. So my fabric, I showed you last time. I'm going to pop up a picture of it. It's hard to get a good picture of it because it really has it's kind of almost like an eye cap print to it, but it's fine whale corduroy, and it's kind of a big, busy print. That's what I think it's going to look like. I think it's going to look okay. It is going to be a big, busy print, but I'm going to give it a try. So this is my croquis that I worked on, and I've messed around and made the pattern adjustments. This weekend, I'm going to cut out my fabric. So got a couple of weeks to mess around with that particular one. The other thing that I sewed, the only thing I finished, frankly, I'm teaching a class, and in the class, we're making knit T-shirts. And so I sewed a T-shirt in the class because you can only stand around so much. I've mentioned before, we're taking pickleball classes, and I like it enough that I thought I would like to have a new top to wear because I don't have a lot of athletic tops. So I just pulled out a piece of athletic knit from my stash and sewed up just a T-shirt. This is very simple. This is the Helen's Closet Jackson tee. It's a super boxy, very basic T-shirt. So that's what I made. There are threads that have to be trimmed. It's not very exciting. But what I would like to say about this is I made this during the class when I wasn't helping students, and it took me like 3 hours and 10 minutes to do everything from cutting to doing the hems. And that was like walking away from the table frequently. Of course, the difference between how I sewed then and how I normally sew is I wasn't looking at my phone. So I kind of wish that I had a safe in the house so I could lock my phone up when I want to sew, so I could get more stuff done. But this is all I have actually sewn in the last couple of weeks, which is okay because I've been working on an inventory of what I've sewn this year, and it's way too much stuff. A little bit about life. It was Halloween last night. It was fairly busy at our house. We had 91 kids. Most of them were young, which was fun because they were excited. There were some kids that kind of hid outside the door and yelled boo when I opened it, which I thought was cute. There were 2 little boys who had a song that they wrote that they sang as soon as you opened the door. They got big candy bars. I had expected about 110, and with 91 kids, that means there was just a little bit of candy left. I was a bit surprised that we had as many kids as we did because it was chilly. It was -3 Celsius, which is about 25 Fahrenheit. So a lot of those cute costumes were hidden by parkas, unfortunately. But they all seemed to be having a good time. Today I went to the dollar store and it's been completely transformed to Christmas land. Christmas everywhere. I was kind of surprised by that. We don't have any snow. I still have leaves on some of my trees, so it doesn't quite feel like Christmas time yet. When I stopped working 15 months ago, I made a big list of all the organizing that I would like to do in the house. You know, closets to clean out, go through things in the linen closet, move stuff around. Well, in the 15 months since I stopped working, I have done this many tasks. I don't count my closet, my clothes closet, as one of those tasks because I do that every year. So I'm bound and determined to get all of those organizing tasks ticked off the list by the end of December. And I would love to have enough space in closets to just put things away, not to have to kind of maneuver things around. So that's what I'm going to be working on in the next week. Of course, with the time change tomorrow, that means that the sun's going to be going down at 5:30. So the evenings will be long, and that's a good time to organize closets. That's what's been going on around here. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not a subscriber and you would like to subscribe, I would really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button and the little bell, and then you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. I hope you have a great week. I hope to see you next week. Whatever you're up to, take care, and I'll see you soon.